to me, Alabama football and Thanksgiving share a similar theme, right? During Thanksgiving time, there are particular dishes, there are specific foods, there are specific meals, if you will, that are foundational, that are staples of Thanksgiving. It doesn't matter if you're going to your mom's house, your grandmother's house, your auntie's house, it don't really matter. You go to somebody's house, you are expecting to see some dressing, with or without cranberry sauce. You are expecting to see some mashed potatoes, some macaroni and cheese, some ham or turkey, a little casserole, something green, whether it's green beans, collard greens, lima beans. These are all sort of staples. And you are expecting to see these foundational requirements at the dinner table. And if you do not see these, you're like, Auntie Baby, what the heck going on here? Grandma Kate, like, where the food at? Like, where the food at? Hey, I came here for a Thanksgiving meal. It don't feel like no Thanksgiving over here. I don't see no dressing. I don't see no yams. I don't see no lima beans. I don't see no ham and turkey. What's going on? What is going on? Where the food at? Like, if the food is not on the table, you are equating this with it not being a good Thanksgiving. And it's the same thing with Alabama football. There are certain requirements, there are certain staples and foundations when you look at Crimson Tide football. And one of the biggest foundations is being able to run the football whenever it needs to, especially in the red zone. This was a foundation of the program, whether it was Wallace Wade coaching, Frank Thomas, Paul Bryant, Ray Perkins, Bill Curry, Gene Stallings, even down to DuBose, Franchione, Mike Shula, here with Saban. It's always been a staple of the program, being able to run the football down the opponent's throat whenever you felt like doing it, especially in the red zone. But apparently, it seems like Bill O'Brien has not gotten the memo yet. Bill O'Brien has not read the minutes yet. He's not read the notes. He's not read the agenda plan when it comes down to Crimson Tide football, because for the second time, he has neglected the run game, neglected Brian Robinson in critical situations in the red zone. We saw this against Florida in the first quarter. Alabama ran the ball pretty well, but then it gets away from the run game, and that almost led to Alabama slipping against the Gators down there at Ben Hill Griffin Stadium. Now, the play calling from Bill O'Brien, egregiously leaving the run game, has led to a loss against Texas A&M. And I go back to this. There was a point in the third quarter where Bama's defense was improving a little bit. It was improving a little bit. It was getting stops. It was getting off the field on third down. And you kept hearing the CBS commentary kept saying, A&M'S tired, their front's tired, they're getting leery, they sucking wind, they hand on their hips, they getting tired. Ooh, Jesus, A&M tired, they tired, they tired. When you keep hearing that, that means pound, 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 and pound more. If you are seeing that the run game is working, and if you are hearing from the CBS telecast multiple times, several times, about how the A&M front is tired, you run the football right at it. Brian Robinson was dominating that group up front. And this is a group that's got dudes that'll play in the NFL. When you look at Michael Clemens, Jaden Peavy, DeMarvin Leal, I mean, they got guys all over that front that will play at the next level. And B-Rob was wearing them guys down, catching passes out the backfield. In the third quarter, Alabama was down 31-24. There were two situations Alabama in the red area. If it runs the ball with B-Rob, it scores on at least one of those two, if not both, and wins the football game. You got to trust your back. I don't know why O'Brien just felt like when you get down to the red zone that you forget you have a 6'1", 225-pound running back. I don't understand, when you get in the red zone, did B-Rob just vanish in the thin air? When you get in the red zone, did you have selective amnesia? I mean, let me know something. When you get down in the red zone, did you forget that Brian Robinson was conceived? I mean, did you get that actually happened? Bill O'Brien, because he's back there in the backfield, 6'1", 225, 147 yards rushing, averaged 6 yards per carry, even caught 4 passes for 60 yards. Oh, and by the way, did I not mention in the CBS telecast, they kept saying, A&M tired. A&M tired. They wearing out the front line. Tired. The second win. You got to run the football. Coach Saban talked about it today, that he felt like Alabama did not challenge A&M enough running the football. Brian Robinson said today, I feel confident in my abilities to run the football in the red zone. I feel confident with the offensive lineman I got in front of me running the football in the red zone. I believe we could pick up a yard or more than a yard. My goodness, he was averaging 6 yards per carry. Back-to-back 100-yard games for B-Rob, but in the most critical situations in the game, O'Brien going away from the rushing attack. This is a staple of Alabama football. And I understand trying to get Bryce Young's numbers up for the Heisman. I get it. Trying to get Bryce Young's numbers up for the coveted Bronze Award. But you do not sacrifice a foundation. You don't sacrifice a staple. You don't sacrifice what makes Alabama football in a moment where it is working and trying to get numbers up for Bryce Young. Bryce Young will get his, and he played well in the game. But when you look at this as a staple of the tie, it's about hat on a hat running the ball. And you look at 2 of your Heisman winners in program, 2 of your 3 Heisman winners in school history, running backs, ran the football. You look at last year, what Steve Sarkisian was able to do with Najee Harris, run the football. I mean, O'Brien basically gave Brian Robinson the Marshawn Lynch treatment that was done by Pete Carroll. Y'all remember the 2015 Super Bowl off the 2014 season? Yeah, y'all remember that. And it's Seahawks, Patriots. You got the ball on the 1-foot line, Pete Carroll. On the 1-foot line. And you got a mean, nasty, aggressive, thuggish dude eating Skittles in your backfield. He's called beast mode for a reason. For a reason. You have him in the backfield. All you got to do, hand the ball. He gets 1 yard. If Marshawn Lynch cannot give you 1 yard, you live and die off that, Pete Carroll. You go, you know what? He couldn't get a yard. We will live to fight another day. We gave it to our best player. It didn't happen. But the fact that Pete Carroll didn't even give Marshawn a chance. He sits there and calls a pass play, spread, 1-foot line. It gets picked off by Malcolm Butler. The Patriots win 28-24. And to this day, that play haunts Pete Carroll. It's the same thing with Bill O'Brien. If your offensive line cannot block for Brian Robinson to get you 1 yard, that's fine. You take your cap off to A&M'S defense. But the fact that you did not even sniff in Brian Robinson's direction on both of those red zone attempts, at least give the brother a chance to run the ball. At least put the ball in his chest and let him go. Let him run. Let him get those yards. Egregious play call. And the whole time during the game, when you got Devontae Smith on Twitter going, run the bleep ball. And then you've got Mark Ingram on Twitter going, are you serious? Coach had them throw the ball 3 times in the red zone? Wouldn't have been me doing that. And then you got Reggie Ragland going, what they doing? They ain't running the ball. And then you've got Jalen Waddle, feed B-Rob. You got all of these former players being highly vocal, being highly expressive on Twitter, trying to understand what is Bill O'Brien trying to concoct here. You got a 6'1", 225-pound back. Give him the football. Run the football. Don't overcomplicate stuff. This is the main reason why he does not need to be in the booth. His butt need to be on the field getting chewed out by Nick Saban like everybody else. Get Bill O'Brien out that booth. Put that man on the field. Let him get the same attention that every other assistant coach is getting for the Crimson Tide. Because that was egregious. I mean, I get it. You want to run Bryce's numbers. I understand that. But just like Thanksgiving, y'all go over to your folks' house, that dressing ain't on the table, that them greens ain't on the table, that mac and cheese and on the table, somebody cutting up. Somebody cutting up. And it's the same thing for Bama football. You're not able to run the ball, or you're seeing that the play calling is neglecting the run game. That's why you had a lot of U.S. fans on Twitter cutting up at Bill O'Brien. Why? He went away from the foundation of what Alabama football is, part of the big reason as to why Tide suffered a loss there against Texas A&M.